Hey, it's nice to see everybody again. This is William Simley. I am the I am the creator of MGA. I'm here with my co-host Madison Averhart.
Hey guys.
Madison.
Hey.
We are here interviewing Swanglish. We have two members from the band. One being Benny, my roommate.
Yep. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, like Will said, my name is Ndalima, founder of Swanglish, and we're just really glad to be here today.
Mm-hmm. We also have one of the other members, Cash Cotton.
What it is, what it was, what it shall be is Tijuana's youngest son, Grand VL. What's happening?
I'm not gonna unpack
I love
that.
that. That was good. I love that.
All right, just to kick off this interview, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, starting off with Benny?
Yeah, I'm from Tanzania, born there. I grew up there some, came to the United States at the age of like 5. Then our family went back because, I had to take over the kingdom because, I'm a prince back home, so I'm just playing. But really though, I was in Tanzania, learned the culture, had to relearn everything, had to relearn the language, Swahili. And then, over time, God opened doors for me to come back to the U.S. and here I am. So yeah.
Well, I'm from a faraway place called Alabama. No, I was born and raised in Alabama. I linked up with Benny at the University of Montevallo. That's basically the platform of how I began networking as a musician, and that's how I ended up in Swanglish. They basically kind of bullied me into it, forced me into it. And, he can't run me off yet. So, but that's essentially how I ended up here in Swanglish. I'm obviously not African. I'm obviously not, I wouldn't really consider myself one of the founding members at all, because I feel like it was already kind of going by the time I joined it, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm happy to contribute. So.
How was Swanglish brought about? What was the idea behind it?
Yeah, so let's think of the word right quick. Swanglish. You have basically two words in there. You got Swahili, which is my native language, and English. But the idea isn't just to use the Swahili culture and the English culture, or the Eastern culture and the Western culture, but basically the concept is diversity within our music, creativity, our musicality. But yeah, if you think about Swanglish, if you listen to what we do like different types of genres of music. Jazz is basically the root. You have gospel, funk, soul, R&B, pop, whatever. So we're just we're very open to diversifying the music platform and creating a sound of our own, pretty much. The first time that I ever performed with Cash and some of the other guys from Swanglish, actually Thomas, was at one of the basketball games at Montevallo. So you remember that one, Will?
I do.
Yeah, so that was actually a very big highlight of how Swanglish kind of came about, because putting ourselves out there publicity-wise type of thing. It started there. Just played during the halftime show. During halftime, actually, for like 8 or 9 minutes. It was pretty cool. Everybody loved it. And then we just needed to find a way to keep it going. So the Adventurous Coffee Shop came later on this year. And then after that, we just started creating our original music and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Cash, how did you come about doing Swanglish?
Like I told you, Benny bullied me into doing it. So he was basically, y'all laughing, but I'm dead serious, bro. I feel like Swanglish is unique. It's kind of hard to replicate the sound simply because it's never going to sound the same twice. Because it's like you got so many multi-instrumentalists. It's like you never know what Tom's going to do. You never know what I'm going to do. You never know what Avery's going to do. You never know what Benny's going to do. You know what I mean?
To some of Cash's point,
know what I'm saying?
I've known Cash for a few years, like you said. But the thing is that he's a very let's take Tingle with Fest, for instance. He was a big he was a very big necessity, during that performance, because we had 2 of our members that couldn't play, and they're very important. Like Thomas is in school, Evie had to work, so he was basically holding down the chords and the melodies. He had bass, and it's like so. Anyways, whether he knows it or not, he's very he's a huge part of it, and he's saying that I'm bullying him into it, but hey, it's just all a matter of experiencing this music thing together. So.
All right, what are some of the hardships y'all had to go through first forming the band and everything to the point where you're at now playing gigs?
So challenges. So you gotta remember like the gig economy. Okay, let's just think about it right quickly. The gig economy, like most of the people got affected a lot last year.
COVID-19.
You know how it is. COVID-19 affected us. But now just imagine someone that's depending on these gigs as their living. People that did tours, people that did, just regular gigs. Everything got shut down. So we've had to rely on basically the digital, platform, social media. Now, that being said, the challenge has been, that's definitely one of the challenges, but another challenge has also been just getting our stuff, making sure that we resonate with our listeners. You know what I'm saying? Let's take, for instance, I'm Tanzanian, Evie's Tanzanian, Brian's Kenyan, Brenda's Kenyan, Cash is from Alabama, American, Thomas is American, okay? So diversity in that group, however, it's like, if you want to make music for people to resonate, because I think that the Swanglish concept or the idea of diversity is we want to connect with people, and relate to people. So we're incorporating some Swahili in there and some English in there. And so far, so good. I think it's been touching people, but we want to just take that to the next level and make sure that people actually see where we're coming from. So, yeah.
Well, where can listeners hear y'all play?
But seriously though, I mean, it's in the works. We have two or three originals that we've already obviously composed. We have some original compositions, but as of right now, social media, Instagram is the place to hear it. So, but we're gonna get to Spotify and iTunes or whatever one day.
Shout out your Instagram.
Yeah, so Swenglish Music is our Instagram handle. That's our page at Swenglish Music, SWANGLISH Music. And yeah, just follow us there. You'll see some content there. So what's your favorite song, Cash? Tune, that is. If you have it.
Honestly, Swanglish.
That's a dope.
Honestly, Swanglish, because it makes me feel so. Look, I ain't never been to East Africa in my life, but when I play that song, I feel like it's the closest I could ever be.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like such it just makes me happy. You know what I mean? Like it makes me legitimately joyous to play that song because it's hard. You can't really like listen to that song or play that song and be in a bad mood.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why I feel like that's my favorite, just because. Yeah, for sure. Just so we're clear, like I rock with 3/4. It's when you have 5s and 7s. Okay. That's when it's not cool.
What do you think about like transitioning in and out, like different time signatures in the same song?
4/4 is recommended.
Facts.
If you don't got 4/4, we'll take 3/4.
All
If
right.
you don't got 3/4, we'll take 6/8.
But what if that 3/4 feels like, you answered the question. What if it feels like 6/8?
That's okay.
Okay.
But if you don't got 3/4, 6/8, or 4/4, then we just gonna have to go to a different restaurant. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just me though. I'm working on myself. I'm trying to get better. I'm obviously not the greatest when it comes to more difficult time signatures. But that's one of the cool things about Swenglish. I feel like playing with these folks really does make me a better musician.
Same.
I feel like the music challenges me just enough to where I can still have fun, but also it's like I'm actively engaging to the point in the music itself where it's like I have to think. Like there's never a point in like Swenglish rehearsal where I don't have to like think. You know what I mean? Like I gotta keep track of every note, every chord, all of that. So
that's hilarious, man.
Hey, just checking up on Madison. You there?
I am here. Hello.
You just enjoying it?
I am. I'm actually intrigued by everything that y'all are saying. So it's interesting. I did have a question though, pertaining to like, do you have somebody that is able to record you guys while y'all are on stage, or not necessarily on stage, but performing. That way you can like upload it to YouTube and y'all can have like live performances.
Yeah, so shout outs to Cynthia. Cynthia, she is our marketing director. It's not like super official, but it's kind of like an unofficial title right now. She definitely has been working on that. We definitely need to do more as soon as we all get kind of settled down. I know she's working, we all are, but yeah, I mean, we do have somebody doing that. We definitely need to grow our online presence though. So, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, well, because we can put a section on MGA on our channel of y'all performing. If y'all would like to do that, we would love to do that.
Absolutely, appreciate the love. That's really love. Thank you so much.
We already got the videos on there, so might as well put them on the website now too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I also have like some ideas on, how, because like we've been doing, y'all know, like with for instance, Instagram, what are they called? The reels, they're really popping these days.
Oh yeah.
So we have been creating some content for reels, and like one of the reels that we did was like we have almost 4,000 views.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, there's like some content ideas that we have been, kind of working through, me and Cynthia and just some of the other guys. So, but yeah, I mean, I'd love to get with you on that and see if we can collaborate somehow.
I had one more question for you guys. Have y'all ever played at any churches or anything?
Hold on. Hey, hold on. You want to talk about churches? Listen. So, shouts out to Pastor Lombo and the Lombo family, right?
Yeah.
So, I feel like Benny was conditioning me to. I feel like he was gradually preparing me to be bullied into Swanglish. Hold on. So look, so probably about like a year and a half ago, Benny was like, "Hey man, I got this gig for you." I was like, "Cool, guitar, bass, what?" He was like, "No, it's keyboard, but it's mad easy. You don't got to do anything. It's a small little congregation. It'll be great, man. Great, it's fine." I was like,
"Yeah,
okay, great." I show up. He failed to tell me that everybody in the congregation is East African. Ain't nobody from America. They all and none of this music is like traditional Black gospel like I've grown up.
Yeah.
It's all just like, and no, so the only reason I even had to bring that up is because you brought church up.
Yeah.
Like being in that congregation and playing that style of music, kind of like grounded me a little bit more so towards the sound of what Swanglish is supposed to be, just because it's like when you immerse yourself within like, a certain demographic, you can kind of understand the art and the culture a little bit more. So
for sure.
Right.
I know that probably wasn't nothing you was trying to talk about.
No, that's right. That's literally right there. Because basically, what we're trying to do, we're trying to understand what Swanglish is and what it's all about. So I'm glad that we could have a question that ties, back into that. I do have another, I'm sorry, I have another question, but it has to do with who inspired you all the most to get into the music and just like be a part of the music,
To your question, I can't speak for everybody else. As far as, what inspired me personally, to be a musician and to have a passion for music the way that I do is just the culture that I was in. If you go to Africa, music is everywhere, drums, everything. Even in the US, let's just bring it down here. So you open that door, you get outside. The moment you step out there, even in the house, you hear birds chirping, you hear like trucks going. Like in my mind, I'm not trying to get all nerdy or anything, but that to me, that stuff is music, bro. Like your heartbeat, the steps that you take, walk in rhythm, like you're walking in rhythm, especially we Black folks.
Right.
But seriously, like just growing in the culture and immersing myself in music. My mentor, he's a jazz legend. he's back home. He's back in Tanzania. So like I just really got inspired. I didn't play keys at the time, but play drums, and he just say, "Hey, listen to this, listen to this." He just kind of put me on, and my ears changed and started.
It's like you didn't have a choice. Like it was. Part
it's just a part of who I am now. So,
Yeah,
so what do you think about that, guys?
No, same thing. Like, I feel like this is one of the areas where it's like I feel like me and Benny have a lot in common because it's like when you talk about inspiration and what drives you to do music. It's like I grew up in a similar culture. It's like my mother and my father were both church musicians. My dad plays bass and saxophone, and my mom plays piano. And growing up in my household, you had to do something musical. You did not have a choice. And like, nigga, you had to play something. That was my you couldn't just grow up in my household and vibe. Like, nah, bro. You had to pick up a harmonica or something. You know what I mean? And Sunday morning, it's like whatever it was that you picked up, it's like we were all like somewhat, I guess, like steeped to like be musicians to a certain extent. However, I do feel like my parents created a monster that they couldn't control a little bit because it's like now, my parents are always like, like why can't you come home and when you gonna come jam with us? And I'm like, yo, I don't have time. Like, I'm a music major. I'm a full-time musician. Like, y'all did this. Y'all created.
It's all on you.
it's like and they're like, oh, why you always gigging all the time? You don't ever got time for this. I'm just like, you're welcome. Like, but no. So as far as like inspiration and whatnot, like, I feel like me and Benny have a lot in common in that, like, when it comes down to like that inspiration and that drive and that motivation, it's like it was always there from the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
And church, definitely church.
Yeah, definitely grew up in church for sure. That's how I learned it. For sure. You know about church, William?
Obviously not enough, but y'all sitting there got y'all musical talents from it.
So let's go to church and let's get you talented up.
Bro, see, you already told me you trapped him up.
That's something that folks don't realize. Like, bro, church, like low key, when it comes to like musicianship, that is where your skill is forged. That is the battleground for musicians. That is the training ground. That is where you learn everything. Like, don't get it twisted. I love University of Montevallo. The majority of everything that I've learned about music came from some small church off in Tennessee Valley somewhere.
Is that because they don't write down the actual notes? They just give you the chords?
Bro, I didn't play in the fire. See, that's the thing. It's like when it comes to like your ears, bro, and like listening and turning that into music, that's something that I feel like is somewhat dying a little bit when it comes to musicianship. When you look at the universities, it's like they're not teaching you how to catch the fish. You know what I'm saying? They're giving you a fish. And what I mean by that is like, read this sheet music and you can play this venue.
Yeah.
But if you learn how to like listen and play the chords and all whatever, then it's like you're that much more versatile. And that's something that I ain't learned at no university.
I also have another question for you guys. Dealing with reading music versus listening to it. So I actually have a friend that I'm not sure if he knows how to read music, but he can literally listen to a song and immediately play it. So
that's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah.
So how okay, what advice would you have for people that are in school reading music, but they are like those that can hear music and execute it well, but can't read music, but are trying to like learn?
I got this. What are some advice you give to the Nick Cannons of the world?
Bro, oh my God. Don't get on the drum line if you can't read music, bro. Like, that was the dumbest movie. Like, what are we talking about here? Bro, you mean to tell me this man done made it to one of the largest marching bands in the whole Southeast region and he can't read music? You mean to tell, like, that ain't his fault. That ain't his fault. Like, bro, what are we talking about? You mean to tell me he got captured on the drum line and he couldn't read the music? And then y'all want to get mad at him because he finessed y'all this whole time? How did he get past a scholarship audition? Who gave him a scholarship? Like, what is wrong with this movie, bro? I'm sorry. I got so much grief for you.
No, seriously.
So
look, I am right there with you because, okay, let's not look far. Look at me. I came to Montevallo. I really wasn't reading music.
That's fact.
You remember this?
That's fact.
Remember this?
Yes.
Okay, so the thing is, the fact of the matter is, my ears were pretty well versed at the time, 2017, 18, whatever. I was a musician already. I was already playing music, but most of the people that I met here, they couldn't play by ear. Like Cash was a very big exception. Big Tom was kind of there too, but most of them just couldn't just pick up an instrument and play.
Yeah, Tom can do both.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that like a lot of the mentality of a lot of music majors, especially music majors, and I've even heard people talk some crap about me. I'm just saying talk shit about me because he can't read this and that. But look, the thing is, I actually learned to read.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I can incorporate the two. I'm not as fast as all these other guys are, but I can incorporate. I'm incorporating the two, but they can't really on the spot just pick up an instrument and play like we do because we've learned to use our ear. You know what I'm saying? And play like that. So yeah.
Right. Definitely. Yeah.
So yeah. So but anyways, that is something that is it's. I would definitely I would encourage. I'm just going to encourage people. I would encourage those that can read. Okay. Train your ear. Don't be a slave to that sheet, bro. Like if you're going to enslave yourself on just relying on that sheet, what happens if you lose your music, bro? What are you gonna do? Like if you lose your music, no, you need to be creative. Like try to train your mind to be creative. Listen to things that.
Bro, she don't understand. She kicks a wasp nest when she asks that question.
Go ahead, bro.
But hold on. So first off, let me give him props because like whenever he first showed up at Montevallo, like he really did not know how to read music. And I'm not saying that to like down him or diss him. It's more so the opposite because like this man is one of the hardest working musicians, point blank, period, because in a super small amount of time, he went from knowing nothing, like literally nothing about music to being able to read it. And it's like, we're talking about reading music on a collegiate level. We're not talking about hot cross buns. We're not talking about, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, absolutely. As far as like advice to somebody who is a Nick Cannon of this world, my first bit of advice is, bro, do not go audition to be in college marching band. That's number one. Number two, it's like in all seriousness though, a lot of times when you're talking about music in the collegiate level, I feel like they don't embrace that skill set of being able to play by ear. They don't really embrace that and they don't nurture it. More so, they're more concerned about, can you read what's on that paper, which is important. But if your goal is to be an all-around, like well-rounded musician, then it's very imperative that your ears are one of your most valuable assets.
For sure.
However, what you can't do is rely on one more so than the other. Because like one of my biggest issues when I first got here is like, I didn't trust my eyes. You know, I trusted my ears way more than I trusted my eyes. So it's like, that's why I was so bad at sight reading music, because I would play what I felt should be played as opposed to what's really on the paper. So at the end of the day, it's more so about balance. If you're trying to be well-rounded, but if that's not the case, and you know you're trying to be first chair in the orchestra, then it doesn't really matter nearly as much.
I feel a certain type of way about these chairs, man. Can I just talk a little bit? Okay. So the idea or the concept of first chair, second chair, whatever the case, I've never really paid attention to that. I don't know if I ever talked about this.
Yo, but anyway, you're a percussionist. You don't need chairs.
I mean, we also have those though. I mean, the percussionists do have like, hey, first whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, or the captain. Oh, I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. But there is first chair. Like Tom, for example, Thomas was, right? But I never looked at it as I want to be first chair.
Yeah.
I want to be the best. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of, I hate to say it like this, but like that makes others just kind of like not appreciate, you know, the passion and the fire for, you know, for musicianship, because it's like now you're competing against like let's say you and like let's say you, if you thought that way, you and your girlfriend, bro, like you'd be like, I don't want you to be first chair. I want to be first chair. No, but it's more like if you have a mindset of, you know what, I'm gonna learn from you, you're gonna learn from me. That's it.
But do you feel like you're a naturally competitive person? Because I don't feel like I'm competitive at all. That's why I've never cared about no chair.
Bro,
going up against another tuba player for first shirt in a college level band, no, not really doing anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
As bad as I hate to agree with that,
That's fair.
I feel where you're coming from.
That's fair.
But to be fair, there's certain sections and certain instruments that are way more cutthroat than others. For example, the trumpets. If you play a trumpet, for some reason, I don't know what it is about playing trumpet, but it's like you are indoctrinated to hate everybody else who plays that instrument. You know what I'm saying? Saxophones tend to be more chill. They tend to not be nearly as competitive.
Okay.
And it's like a lot of times, you know, some flutes and clarinets can be cutthroat, but that's all just like wind ensemble band culture, and none of that really matter in the real world, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I do want to give this solid advice to anybody that's struggling with sight reading. Just go to your class once a week. I guarantee you that music will be sight every time. You put a sheet in front of me right now, a tuba sheet in front of me right now, I'll be able to read it almost perfectly because I never came to class on time.
Just enter the chat.
He's gonna be like, I confirm this.
It's hilarious, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but I hope we answered your question.
Yeah, I'm about to start doing a little class on music software if anybody's interested.
For sure.
Get up before it. But yeah, no, like the Arts Council is they really come in clutch when it comes to like giving Swanglish a rehearsal spot that's like top notch.
Big fact.
So yeah, shouts out to Bruce and all them good folks over there. Really good people over there.
Yep.
Oh, just to make sure, you brought up a good point. Where and how, oh, sorry, not where, when and how much are y'all charging for your lessons at the Shelby County Arts Center?
Okay, so when I was teaching there, I don't know, it's probably changed, but when I was teaching there, it's basically it's about $20 a lesson, and every lesson is half an hour. That's just one class. If you want to take, let's say, lessons 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you can pay for the whole week, or you can pay individually. It's up to you, but I think it's $20 a lesson.
All right. I am planning on hopefully doing both because I got to work on my rhythm when it comes to producing.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's the guy. Cash is the guy. Hit him up. Cash Cotton. Oh, by the way, social media. Ndalima on Instagram, Ndalima on Facebook.
How do you spell Ndalima?
Ndalima, Ndalima.
No, if you really want to thug it with me, you know, I'll be on Facebook.
Yeah. That's your spot.
What's up? Questions, comments, concerns, confessions?
Feeling?
What you got?
This guy it's a word club. We call it Rungu. Since we brought it up, the Maasai warriors back home, they use this. Like they're like the security over there. They ain't gonna see no guns. They ain't gonna see none of that. This is what you're gonna see. If those guys hit you with this, you're done. It's over.
I think I'm about to get shot.
Nah. It's over, bro. Like, I don't do that, bro.
I don't know.
Right, he twisted too. Like, you know, he used it
I
against
don't know, man.
Yeah, but anyways, just wanted to share that fun fact.
Yeah.
So,
Can you tell us another fun fact?
what
What was it like wrestling I was about to say an alpaca.
Impala?
Impala.
Bro, an alpaca that's like the least intimidating animal.
They look like camels, right?
They're like smaller camels.
Yeah, that's nice. Man, look, bro, all I can say is that I am from the motherland. In the motherland, we have to fight for it. Yeah? What do you think?
Benny said on his way to school, he got to fight 12 hyenas. And he gotta avoid the elephant stampede. And the school bus was a wildebeest. You know what I'm saying? That's what Benny said. And he got to cross rivers and lakes and mountains just to get to the schoolhouse. That's what he said. So,
Y'all are hilarious.
Yeah, that's the story.
All right. Oh, we're glad to have you back here in the States.
Glad to be back.
I do want to say this first and foremost, intercultural musicianship helped me get MJ off the ground.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I wouldn't be here today without you.
I love it, man. Yeah. So we're all doing the same thing, Swanglish, interculture, MJ. So yeah, let's work. Let's do it. Turn the cards.
on the cards, bro.
All right, Madison.
All right.
Are you ready?
Me too.
Yeah.
1,
Go.
2, 3. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, and stay blazed.
I love it. All right, guys.